Hey y'all, welcome to the live. Let me just get this thing on here situated so y'all can see me. Here we go. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Noelle, aka MakeupEsquire, and today we are doing a live get ready with me using some new products that I recently picked up from the Sephora VIB sale. I just uploaded a YouTube video where I used like my first round or the first haul that I picked up, and I wanted to test out other products on this video that I didn't get a chance to use in that other one. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and apply this Prada primer that I recently picked up and I've been testing out. This is the Prada Refine Primer. It claims to be blurring and extending, and yeah, hopefully it is pore filling and helps mattify my skin since I do have combo to oily skin. So that's what I look for in my primers. I'm a major fan of primers. I know that they're controversial and some people feel like they need them. Other people feel like they don't. When I was on Accutane and my skin was super dry, I didn't necessarily feel the need to wear primers all the time. But I also picked up this Dr. Dennis Gross. This is the 3D and Visible Plump and Repair. This is a plump and repair lip treatment. So I'm trying this out for the first time right now on camera with y'all. I was going back and forth on whether or not to pick this one up because it is a little bit pricey, but I just figured maybe it would be good to like cut my lips before applying makeup like right now. It has a very fancy component here, very fancy mechanism. So hopefully it's worth the price tag. So it squeezes out like that. And we're just gonna go ahead and apply it so that it can just prep the lips while we do the rest of the makeup and before applying the lippy. So, okay, that's that. Primer is on. I put some SPF on already. I picked up a few different sunscreens during the sale. I have this Sarah Creel one here. I picked up the Tatcha one that I had already tested out. I just had a mini one, so I picked up the full size since they updated the packaging on it. I also picked up this Mineral Sun Glow by Innis Beauty. And then there was one other sunscreen. Oh, it is the what was it? This one right here, the Caudalie SPF 50. Oh, and then actually two more sunscreens that I picked up. I picked up this K Skin one and the Shiseido one. So all of these are mineral SPFs. So these are all, I just have everything in front of me here that I recently picked up. So these are all the sunscreens that I picked up from the sale. I'm a big fan of sunscreen and I love testing different ones out. Hi, welcome to the live, Natsufude. Thank you for joining. How are you? Good to see you here. So yeah, that's what I picked up for sunscreen. Just applied the Prada primer. And today I think I will be going in and using the new Dior foundation stick since I've been getting a lot of questions about this one. I've also been testing out the McCreen Actives one. So as far as like foundations go during the sale, I picked up the Dior foundation stick that recently came out. Hi, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining, Beauty of Aya. Good to see you. How are you? And then the McCreen Actives. I honestly never hear anybody talk about this McCreen Actives brand, but I do have their concealer and I'm a fan of it. I just think that they need more shades. The quality, oh, I'm so glad that the quality is good. Thank you for telling me that. I really appreciate it because I've been tweaking it like constantly so that it could be better quality, because when I upload this to my YouTube channel after, which I always do after my lives, sometimes it turns out grainy. So Glad to hear it. Thank you for the feedback on that. Natsufude says she loves the Dior foundation stick. Thank you for sharing that. I've actually been liking it too, more than I thought. Oh, y'all, I also recently picked up the trio and the BK Beauty brushes. There's like a 30% off sale going on right now. I don't have a code for y'all, but I'll try to link them on my LTK, which is at the link in my bio. I already had these brushes, but I do really like them. I find them very useful shapes. This comes with a cute little package, a little to-go case. So I figured maybe we could try using these today. It's perfect. You look good. Thank you so much, Beauty of Eye. I really appreciate that. Thank you for being here today. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in and I've been liking, like for reels and stuff, I will like swipe stuff on my face, or like I'll take a dropper and like drop the foundation on my skin, just because they say it's like catchy in the beginning of reels to get like watch time, like to get clicks, but honestly, I don't really like always apply my actual foundation that way. Skin tints are different because, you know, I don't want like the brush to soak up all the product in a skin tint. But for a foundation stick like this, I usually apply it this way. So I was afraid that this foundation stick by Dior was going to be too glowy because I have a combo to oily skin. But look, like it's definitely not too oily, I don't think. I think that partially is due to me using a mattifying primer underneath. So I also meant to mention that I use this one size primer. This is the Oil Sucker Extreme Mattifying Alkaline Primer. I don't recommend this unless you really do have like super oily skin like me. But I've been testing this out. So I do think that the mattification, I guess, effect of this foundation stick is definitely due to the primers that I have underneath. But if I don't do that, then I do feel like it's a little bit too glowy for my preferences. But I've just kind of been slapping this on. I do like the fact that this foundation stick is like very customizable, if you will. I have the shade 3N, by the way. It's a good, I think, pretty good shade for my skin tone right now. Hopefully it's not showing up too yellow or orangey on camera. But yeah, I think it's a good shade match for me right now. I was kind of worried about the shade match because I get everything online. Like I don't like really going into Sephora. I don't find that it's very useful because just the lighting is off in there, and I don't know. I just try to look up people that I know have similar skin tone, a similar skin tone to me, and that use similar shades in base products, and that's typically how I find my shade matches. Hey Sunscreen, thank you so much for joining. You're in traffic. Okay, be safe. Yes, watch the replay. Thank you for popping in here. Good to see you. Drive safely. And yeah, so that's that for as far as shade matching and stuff. But yes, I will be uploading this afterwards for anybody that misses any of it and wants to watch the replay. Also, when I post it on YouTube, it's easier to like fast forward than it is to watch the replay on here. And you could even like watch it on faster, like a faster play if you feel like the pace isn't fast enough for you, which sometimes on lives that tends to be the case, but I'm going to try to keep it rolling as best as possible. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit of patchiness on my forehead just because that's where I have the primer underneath. I don't know if you can see it, but I can definitely see it. Yeah, not loving that, but I don't attribute yeah, see how it's pilling? I don't attribute that to the foundation because I've been trying this foundation out without that alkaline primer underneath, and it's not pilled on me. So I just think that it's like the combination of them that is not really playing well with each other, which is like my pet peeve when it comes to products. Like, but sometimes it just happens and you just have to try different products with different bases and primers and stuff like that. It doesn't always work out I'm just going to church in a little bit. So I'm going to do like this, like kind of no makeup look. If you can tell, my lips are getting quite red. If you missed it, I put on this lip plumper by Dr. Dennis Gross on. So that's why they're tingling a little bit too. They're kind of burning. I don't usually mind it too much though. But what I mind more honestly is like the bright like red shade that happens with lip plumpers. I don't know, some people might like that because they might not have much pigment in their lips naturally, but I just feel like that's a dead giveaway of lip plumper, you know, and I want to be able to put put a lip product on top without having to overcompensate for the shade underneath. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just going to keep letting it sit while I do the rest of my makeup here. But okay, Dior, I also picked up the contour stick. So let's play with this today, shall we? And I'm going to go in with the medium BK Beauty brush. This is the 109. So they basically just like put new handles on their original brushes that are already popular. So if you already have these brushes, you don't have to like run out and get more. But I just washed all my Fude that I had in rotation. So they're mostly like my face brushes are drying right now, and I haven't picked out the next batch of Fude brushes that I'm going to be using in this rotation. And I still have to finish washing some of them because I thought I was doing good and washed my brushes last night, if you saw my story on that. And then today, as I was getting ready for this live and like organizing things around my beauty room, I found this other stash of brushes that still needs to be washed. So I'm like, great, I'll probably get to that maybe tonight. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, this Dior contour stick it does the job, okay? As you can see, it does the job. It's a nice, cool tone as a contour stick. Thank you so much, Sun. I appreciate that. I picked up the shade 3 medium. I've been hearing good things about this contour stick, other than the fact that Dior is highly fragranced. Their products are fragranced, and that's like my one critique that I will say is not my favorite thing about them. So if you are sensitive to fragrance, no, don't do it. The other thing I will say about these contour sticks and the foundation sticks from Dior is, well, the contour stick specifically, it's really highly pigmented. So I'm like barely tapping in with this on my brush. This is not a type of product that I recommend swiping on your skin. It's not super beginner friendly. So if you're more of a beginner, I would more so recommend something like the Westman and Atelier contour sticks and bronzing sticks, because they just aren't as pigmented. So when you're dealing with such a highly pigmented product like this Dior contour stick, you just have to have a lighter hand, really. It could get away from you easily. So, hi, thank you so much for joining the live, Pranning. Good to see you. How are you? And so, yeah, that's what I will say about this Dior contour stick. Other than that, I don't have many complaints about it. So far, like, it plays well with other products. It's not like that finicky, other than it being really highly pigmented. So once you kind of get the hang of the pigment, it's okay. And then of course the fragrance, I could do without fragrance in my beauty products. And I know a lot of you agree with that. Okay. And then the other product that I wanted to try out on camera is the Westman Atelier concealer, because in my, excuse me, I'm throwing everything around everywhere. Because in my last video where I tried new makeup products from Sephora, I tried the this new Danessa Natasha Denona, not Danessa Myricks. I picked up the Danessa Myricks concealer as well, and I haven't tried this one on. Actually, I did a reel recently with this one that I've been testing out. I was asked, Cindy asked me what I thought about this one. I told her that it's good. It's a solid concealer, but it's not anything to write home about. Like, it's not anything special or particularly innovative. So it's just a concealer. Like, I have so many other concealers in my collection that I would say impress me more than the Danessa Myricks one. I love the cute little packaging though, I will say. The doe foot applicator doesn't dispense too much product, so that could be a good thing or a bad thing. For me, I have to dip in multiple times, so don't necessarily love that. I've been using this CL one with SPF in it, and I will say this is a solid concealer. So I was hoping that that would be, because I do appreciate the fact that it has SPF in it. And yeah, it's not the type of thing where I'll have to make an excuse for it. Like, it's not like a good concealer for having SPF. It's just a solid concealer. So I'm happy to report back on that CL one. I picked up a few CL products from the recent sale. If you saw my recent YouTube video, I did use this one on camera, and I've been liking this CL skin tint. It's definitely a lighter weight foundation than the Dior foundation stick, so it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. I picked up the CL powder that has SPF in it, and these Bronze and Protect bronzing concentrate with SPF in it as well. I guess I was just like in a CL craze this time around. I'm gonna get the powder to show you, but I appreciate how this brand incorporates SPF in their beauty products, and not only SPF but mineral SPF. It has an active ingredient of 22.5% zinc oxide, so that was impressive to me. My dermatologist recommended that I use SPF with zinc oxide, so I tend to look for that when I am picking out SPFs. But this Westman Atelier concealer, I will say, has been pretty impressive so far. Hopefully it'll be enough to kind of cover this patchiness going on right here on my forehead. I picked up the shade M2 in the Westman Atelier concealer. It was kind of a blind buy, but I'm happy with the shade. I will say it has a slightly peachy undertone to it, which I do appreciate, because that is good for the darkness that I have right here on my mouth and hyperpigmentation underneath my eyes right here. I have some melasma that I suffer from that is just residual left over from hormonal birth control that I was on a few years back for a few years. And yeah, I have my regrets about being on birth control because it left me with hyperpigmentation on my skin that I've been having quite a difficult time getting rid of, but that's a story for another day. I've talked about that on my channel before. But yeah, you see how, yeah, that concealer that's quite impressive. Westman Atelier is certainly having a moment, isn't she? I like a lot of Westman Atelier products, so I had high hopes for this concealer. And I'm curious to know if anybody has tried the Victoria Beckham concealer that just came out. I was tempted to get that one. I did not end up picking up anything from the Victoria Beckham sale that was just going on, supposedly the 20% off sale that she was having. I don't know if it was just me, but I tried to get on that site and pick up some stuff, but for some reason that 20% off code was not working for me. So I tried to do it without logging into my account and everything. I don't know, I couldn't get it to work. I don't know if it's because I'm in the United States or what, but yeah. So sadly, it seems like I missed the ship on that Victoria Beckham Black Friday sale. But it is what it is. Hi, Martha. Thank you so much for joining the live. It's so good to see you. How are you? I'm testing out new products that I picked up from the recent Sephora sale. Some that I have not tested out on camera before. I did post a YouTube video earlier today with kind of like my round one of products that I was testing out and talking about. And then now I wanted to test out the ones that I received in the mail since I filmed that video. So for a base today, I used the Dior foundation stick in the shade 3N. I've used the Dior contour stick in the shade 3 medium as well. And then I just applied the Westman Atelier concealer that she recently came out with. It's a very lovely formula, very impressed so far. I love the packaging. You know, it's a it's luxury beauty, and Westman Atelier is geared more towards mature skin. And I just feel like all of her products are just so elegant and just lovely to interact with. I appreciate how she keeps it pretty consistent across her products as far as like the packaging goes. Like for instance, this is very similar to her lip gloss packaging, except she changed up the colors on there. And I just love how like when you close it, you can feel like a click. So just like those little details, I definitely appreciate in luxury beauty products. So I do recommend this Westman Atelier concealer if you're looking for a good one. Again, my shade is M2. So that provided me with a good amount of coverage. I'm enjoying this one definitely more so than the Danessa Myricks one that I recently picked up and the Natasha Denona one. The Natasha Denona one is highly coveted on social media. A lot of people love this formula because it's lightweight, but it still provides good coverage. I will say that the Danessa Myricks one provides less coverage, which is, I think, another reason why I'm just like not super in love with it. I like a higher coverage concealer just because I feel like it's more customizable. Like I could use less with a higher coverage concealer. And same with like a foundation. So as I get older, like I've just been gravitating more toward formulas to use as a base on my skin that not necessarily are like full coverage, but enough coverage and still looks like elegant on the skin, not like heavy or cakey looking throughout the day, you know? And then with higher coverage products, medium to full coverage, you could use less of them if you don't feel the need to put more on, and you can just kind of spread them out over your face. That's something that I definitely enjoy out of the Hourglass concealer formula as well. It's thick. It might be too high coverage for some people, but I would rather have something like that I can just like use very little of and just spread it out all over, as opposed to having to use more product in something that is lighter coverage, you know? So that's that. And yeah, I've been enjoying the CL one. I like using the CL concealer for touch-ups throughout the day, like when I use sunglasses, because it has SPF in it. You love that concealer, Sunscreen. Thank you so much for the feedback. The Westman Atelier concealer I think you're talking about. Yeah, I've been really enjoying it as well. So I'll use the CL bronzer stick today, the Sculpt and Protect. It has an SPF of 30. It's mineral SPF as well. So love that. And I'll go ahead and use the same brush that I was using for my for the contour stick. And I just like to take it and tap my brush on it. I like to use this method better than just swiping things directly on my face. I just feel like it's easier to control that way. Like I said earlier, hey Maria, thank you so much for joining the live. Good to see you. How are you? Like I said, I do like apply products directly on my face, like the dripping and stuff like that for content, because I was told that it does well. You know, for clicks, like on short form reel type of content, but not because I necessarily always apply my products like that. Pretty much only like the skin tints I'll go ahead and like apply directly on the face sometimes because it's such a thin formula, but not with like thicker formulas. So yeah, I like to use this method of applying that and just tapping it on the skin like so. I think this is a good shade match for me. This bronzing stick so far from CL is not very finicky, which I appreciate. It has not left patchiness. As you can see, that went on very smoothly and very nicely. Hope the colors are showing true to tone. Sometimes I watch these back and things look a little bit more yellow than they really are in person, but I could tell you that to me they look like good shade matches. So far, so good, yeah. Hi, Dee Dee Mona. Thank you so much for joining the live. It's so good to see you. Okay, so there's that. We got bronzer, cream bronzer on. We got cream contour on. We're throwing products around everywhere. And what else? We have our base on. We have primer, we have SPF. And now for blush. Blush is like, well, maybe, yeah. Sometimes I do my blush before, excuse me. I have allergies today, so I've been wiping my nose. So sometimes I put my blush on after I powder. Sometimes I powder, then I do my blush. It just depends on the mood. I always say there is no right or wrong. There's no rules when it comes to makeup and makeup application. It's just a matter of preference. I did pick up the Makeup by Mario setting powder during the sale and the Ciel setting powder during the sale as well, as far as setting powders. I also purchased the Prada Beauty compact powder. It's right here. It's beautiful. It's a lovely minty green shade. And the other compact powder that I picked up during the sale is the Kosas one. I mentioned in my YouTube video that I posted earlier that like I had this before. I've had this Kosas powder in the past, but I just like wasn't super impressed with it. So I don't know. I like used it once that one time and then returned it. But I just figured, hey Cindy, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining. How are you? I hope everybody's having a lovely Sunday. It's good to see you all and have you here. So yeah, I picked it up again in hopes that this time around, I don't know, I might feel differently for some reason. Because everybody raves about this Kosas one. It's like a powder, no powder. So like if you are the type of person that has drier skin, like normal to dry skin, then I would definitely recommend this Kosas one. It's just for my particular skin type. I'm just more on the oily side. So let me tell my dog to go on his walk. Go walkie walkie. Go walkie walkie. Go walkie walkie. Come on. He's stuck here to my left. One of my dogs is just like constantly stuck on me. Go walkie walkie, Kilo. Go walkie walkie. Go walkie walkie. He's being hesitant to go on his walk. Because I'm not going. So he's like my child. He's my therapy dog. Okay, so yeah, so the powder, the Kosas powder, definitely recommend if you have drier skin. And you just kind of want to like lightly set things, but you don't feel the need to use like a loose setting powder, then that's what this Kosas one is nice for. Doing well. Glad to hear it, Cindy. So yeah. So another way that I've actually been using this Kosas one is to kind of just like lightly set the face before going in with more products on top, just so that it doesn't really like disturb anything else that I want to put on top. So yeah. Oh, I wanted to share with y'all that I picked up these two blushes from the sale. I did do a recent reel showing these, but I wanted to kind of show them off more in like a longer form content to ask what y'all think about these if you own either of these. I know Sunscreen loves the Dior Rosy Glow blush, but in a different shade. Sunscreen, if you're still on here, I think Sunscreen likes the shade, I want to say it's like a deeper, like a rosewood. I think it's rosewood if I'm not mistaken. But I don't have rosewood. I kind of went for like a more poppy color and I couldn't decide between these two. I kind of wanted to compare them. So I picked up the Fenty one. I know it's super random for me to pick up this Fenty blush, but I was reading reviews on Sephora that actually said that this formula was quite impressive. And, yeah, and based on what I've been hearing, I suspected that the formula might be comparable to my beloved Valentino blushes, that if y'all have been on my channel before, you might know that I'm always raving about the Valentino blush formula because it's just that like cream to powder type of formula that I just love. And hey, Yesenia, thank you so much for joining. Welcome to the live. So yeah, I just like love the cream to powder type formulas in blushes. Like, look at that. And so I was really debating between this shade in the Fenty Beauty blush, and then there's like a more red tone one. And you know how red tone blushes are kind of going viral and having their moment right now, because like the OG Victoria's Secret Angel makeup artist said that she used to use red blush on the models and not pink blush. So yeah, but I ended up going with this one in the shade Lollipoppy, and I'm proud of myself for not picking up both shades because I was really close. But I'm quite impressed with this Fenty Beauty formula. The formula is good. Like, look at that. And it's hopefully translating on camera, but it's like a lovely, like bright corally peach shade. And I'm a fan of bright blush shades. I think right now I'm just kind of like in the mood and having a moment. Hi, thank you so much for joining the live. Good to see you. And so, yeah, I've been enjoying this Fenty Beauty one. I will say that the packaging is not the most luxurious. The shape is kind of like awkward, but you know, it's a good enough formula to where I would still recommend it if you've been eyeing it or anything like that. It doesn't have a mirror, but hey, it's reflected in the price that you pay. It's not that expensive, I guess, relatively. The Dior one does come with a mirror, and I will say, well, maybe I can just like swatch these colors next to each other so you could see the difference. Again, in Fenty, I have the shade Lollipoppy, and in this Dior one, I picked up the shade Cherry. So they're very similar, I would say, in color. Look at that nice, lovely, bright shade. I'm going to swatch this next to the Lollipoppy shade. They're similar to each other. So similar that you certainly don't need both. The Fenty Beauty formula, honestly, surprisingly, is impressing me more than this Dior one. And y'all know, like, if you're not new here, I'm usually like a luxury beauty lover, but in this particular instance, Fenty with the blushes, those shades look gorgeous. Thank you so much for the feedback on that. Yeah, don't they? Yeah, I've really been loving that. That like bright, lovely coral pinky shade. I know that right now for the season, people might be gravitating more towards like deeper plums and mahogany type of shades, but I don't know. I'm just like, I'm here for the bright cheeks. Yeah. So also randomly for powder bronzer, I saw this one on sale. This is the Tom Ford OG Shade 2 Terra, and it was on sale. And then on top of that, I was able to get my 20% off discount. So this was unplanned, but I'm happy to have been able to pick this shade up, Terra, in my collection. Yeah, so I didn't have this. I know I've tried it before, but I want to say I decluttered it for some reason way back in the day. So I don't know. I'm happy to have picked this one up. This formula is so nice. I think my only complaint with the Tom Ford powder bronzers are the fact that they're pricey and they can definitely expand their shade range. But other than that, it's a good bronzer. So it's deceiving. Like in the pan, when I received it, I was like, oh no, I'm sure I probably returned it because this is going to be too light on my skin tone and it's not going to show up. But it actually does. And it's like nicely buildable. It's not super orange, which I do appreciate in my bronzers. I don't like warm orangey tone bronzers. I appreciate more neutral, almost like contour color, like kind of how, like if they can double as a bronzer, like a bronzer and a contour in one, I like that. A similar one that I can think of that I appreciate is the Westman Atelier one, but this one's a lot more like, I don't know, it's less beginner friendly because it's just more highly pigmented. So you just have to be careful with this one. And I don't know, for some reason, this formula like kind of like balls up on me in the pan. I don't know why, but I don't know if anybody has a similar experience. So that's kind of like my only gripe with this bronzer, but they're kind of similar. They remind me of each other in the sense that both formulas are that nice, like buttery, melts into your skin type of formula, which I appreciate here. And that's another reason why I was so impressed with this Fenty. Like the packaging does not do it justice. Like the formula inside is more impressive than what you would think by just like looking at the packaging alone. So yeah. And then I also got I picked up for base powders, like bronzer and contour, the two Hourglass palettes. I used this one in the recent YouTube video that I uploaded today. But so I figured that maybe I can showcase this one. Hi, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining. And so yeah, this is the Snake palette, but for comparison's sake, I'll just show you both because the Snake palette is more geared toward lighter skin tones, and then the Evil Eye palette, which I hate the packaging on. I just think that's ugly and creepy, but the Evil Eye one is more geared toward medium skin tones. And these were like mostly out of stock during the whole sale. So I like kept them on my wish list. And then when I saw that they went back in stock, I picked them up right away. And then I saw that they went out of stock again shortly afterwards. So I'm glad I was able to pick these up at a discount because I would not have purchased these full price. Not because I don't think they're worth full price. I definitely think that they are. Hey, Linda, thanks so much for joining the live. How are you? Good to see you. I love Hourglass. I've raved about Hourglass powders on here like time and time again. So I'm not going to like go into like all of that again, but I just think that they're like, it's such an elegant formula. There's just something special in Hourglass powders, something that is unmatched that you won't find in the market otherwise. Nobody's been able to replicate it. Nobody's been able to dupe it. Trust me. And so it's just very elegant. It's very like mature skin friendly, these powder formulas. But if you already have one of these palettes in the past that Hourglass has come out with, you definitely don't need another one. They're pricey. They're like 90 bucks each. So it's a pretty penny. You do get multiple shades, but I will say that if you're in love with just like one or two of the shades, it's a better deal to just get the full size. Like this is the full size blush, and you'll get more in a full size component. It's just a better deal. But yeah, so those are kind of my 2 cents on the Hourglass powders. But yeah, no regrets on this. I like to use this as just kind of like a like topper, really. Like it's not like the blushes and the Hourglass powders, they're not super highly pigmented, and I like my blush to pop. So as you can see, I'm dipping into this coral shade here, and I'm like really packing this on with like a pretty dense brush here, and you can see it's not like crazy pigmented, but that's just the nature of them. I mostly think of these as finishing powders, like even though like some of them in here are blushes, bronzers, highlighters, like it's just all like ethereal. So I like to use a more highly pigmented blush because this won't like pop on my cheek like all day, right? So I like to layer my blushes. So that's why I like to go for a more poppy color in my blush formula. Like you see how that definitely provides more pigment. So pretty. Again, the shade Lollipoppy by Fenty. And maybe I'll just use the cherry one on the other side. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. I know, aren't these shades gorgeous? These two blushes that I picked up are just like so bright and colorful, and I just feel like it just adds a very youthful look to the skin when you have a nice poppy blush. And just like how I was mentioning with my concealers, if they have more pigment, more coverage, like they're just more customizable. So you can always just like customize the amount of coverage and pigment. If you have something more pigmented, you can just use less. So yeah, so that's how I would use this, is like first go in, and then it's easy to get carried away with something so pigmented, right? But then if you go ahead and take like an Hourglass finishing powder, it could be any, and then I'll just like at the end with a big fluffy brush, powder everything down. Perfect. So I'm just going to put a little bit right here on my nose. I like to take some of my blush, just like whatever's left on the brush, and just tap it kind of around the perimeter of my face just to kind of blend everything together. And then, okay, I've been having a highlighter moment lately, y'all. There's just been so many good highlighters that have come out recently, and I'm just having such a great time playing with them. So I did a reel recently using this Christian Dior one because it's just, oh my, look at how beautiful that packaging is. That's limited edition. I linked this one on my LTK. You can grab it at Nordstrom if you're interested in that. Hindash, I picked up the Hindash highlighter. Very pretty, lovely, like gradient. And I recently picked up the Chanel, because it's holiday time, so a lot of these brands are coming out with limited edition packaging and stuff like that. So I'm just a sucker for packaging. But I wanted to showcase the Gucci one today on camera because I picked up the Valentino one, and I did use that one in the YouTube video that I uploaded earlier today. So I figured that I can just use this one here. And let me see. I don't have like the perfect highlight brush because I just washed all my brushes, and yeah, I just wanted to start this live and not waste more time. But I'm going to use this Ihodo Weasel brush here, which I usually don't use for highlighter, but I think it could work. I usually use this brush for like concealer and stuff like that, but that's the nice thing about Weasel Kolinsky, is that you can use these bristles for both powder and creams and liquids. Are you going out? Asked Sensory. Thank you for asking. Yes, I'm going to church. So I usually get up on here and go live on Sundays around this time. 3:30ish is when I try to get up on here on Sundays, Pacific Standard Time, because I go to church at 5 on Sunday evening. So I do my little get ready with me for Sunday Mass on Sunday afternoons. Okay, so I just used that Gucci one. And then if Yesenia's still on here, she asked about my lip combo the other day, and I kind of wanted to do like a similar, I wanted to showcase the technique I used for my lips. Since I was like, most of the time I'm using more than one product, but I do like the same technique. So I like to use a lip liner that is closer to my skin tone. So this is the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil Extreme. This is in the shade 600 Anywhere Caffeine. And I picked this one up, and then the one in shade 506 Endless Cacao during the sale, because I wanted to try this new formula by Makeup Forever. They still have their old pencil formula. Love that. Thanks, Sun. And the old Makeup Forever pencil formula, they still have it. It's not like they reformulated it, but if y'all recall, it's just like these, the standard wooden pencils. Like, these have been having their moment on social media because Hailey Bieber uses the shade Wherever Walnut, and so everybody's like using that shade. But they came out with this version that's just like more creamy, and it's just more long wearing, because these are not long wearing. But the nice thing about these is that you can just wear them all over the face. So they market them as being, they're a multi-use matte pencil. So you can use these on the eyes and everything. And these ones are more of like a creamy, long-lasting lip pencil. So Fenty Beauty recently came out with some as well. And I don't know, I'm just not that big of a fan of these, y'all. Normally, like these creamy formulas, like I just feel like they, and these Fenty Beauty ones, they're just like, because of the creamy nature, it makes them long lasting, but that you don't get like a very precise point when you sharpen them, which I don't necessarily love. So I wouldn't really say like run out and get these Fenty Beauty ones. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. I hope everyone's having a lovely Sunday. So yeah, so the Makeup Forever ones. Okay, so this, for example, is kind of like how I would start my lip combo in any given formula, right? So I'll take like one that's closer to my skin tone, like this Anywhere Caffeine shade, and I'll line my lips, like the majority of my lips, right? Like along the vermilion border. And then slightly overline the Cupid's bow. I don't overline my entire lip line just because I think it makes me look crazy and just like clownish. But just on top and a little bit on the bottom middle. Then I take a deeper shade and I like to deepen out the outer corners. So I like that the shade is not too warm. It's kind of like contouring and bronzing your face, except, hey Brittany, thank you so much for joining the live. How are you? Good to see you, girl. It's kind of like contouring your face. It's the same idea. It's like you want to be bronzy kind of everywhere around the perimeter of your face, and then you want to strategically contour the areas where you want to define. So that's how I like to do my lips, is I like to give myself like a little contour on the edges, right underneath the bottom lip in the center, to give that like a little bit of a poofier appearance, and then just right there on top of the Cupid's bow to kind of give like a little bit of like a lip flip effect, if y'all know what I'm talking about. Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude is a fave for me too. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, that's a good one. I have Iconic Nude. My skin tone is a little bit too deep for that to be dark enough for my liking. It's a good shade, but especially I can understand it if your skin tone is like light to medium. I'm more like medium to tan, so that's why I like to take something slightly darker than Iconic Nude. But I can understand why you like Iconic Nude for sure, because it's that cooler undertone, right? So if you have like a little bit of a deeper skin, like medium to tan, to deep skin tone like me, you might want to try something more like Endless Cacao or Anywhere Caffeine. Yeah, the Tom Ford lip liners I've also been really enjoying, except they didn't have the one shade that I wanted. It was sold out during the whole sale. So I ended up picking out Love's Attention and A-List, and I'm still trying to decide if I like these, because these will cost you a pretty penny. I love the formula. It's creamy. It's super long lasting. It's not too creamy though. But it's just that the shade, so this one's Love's Attention right here, and this one's A-List over here. And I'm just like, I don't know, that Love's Attention shade is just slightly deeper than what I usually go for. So there's that swatch next to, what's this one that I just used? Endless Cacao, which is already kind of like as deep as I typically go. So the fact that the Tom Ford one is even deeper than that, I just have to use it very sparingly. And then the other one is just a little bit warmer than I usually go for, the shade Love's Attention. But other than that, like it's not a bad formula. It's just that I wish that they were carrying the shade that I wanted, but it's extremely long lasting. Okay, so after I do those two shades in the lip liner, I usually go in with a lip brush and just kind of blend out the edges to just make sure that the lip liner gets into the nooks and crannies and that I don't have harsh lines anywhere. Sorry, I'm still seeing like, sorry y'all, if you see any like boogers in my nose. I'm telling you, I have allergies. Sorry, ignore that. Okay. So I just kind of blur out the lines there so that nothing is too harsh. So it looks crazy right now, right? But trust the process here. Oh, I picked up the Sarah Creole lip primer during the sale. This is the only Sarah Creole product that I actually have tried other than the SPF, which I am liking the SPF. Hey, Yasmin, thank you so much for joining the live. So glad you can make it. Good to see you. How are you today? Max Stone and the original Endless Cacao are really good. Yes, they are. I completely agree with that. And honestly, those are like my go-to shades. Love Max Stone. So yeah, Max Stone and Endless Cacao are always like top shelf here for me. Yeah, this is Endless Cacao right here. So see how it's kind of like a, yeah, like a contoury shade. Okay, so the Sarah Creole one, I've been liking this lip primer. I listened to the founder, Sarah herself, speak on an interview on a podcast recently. And yeah, you didn't miss too much, Yasmin. I'm also going to repost it afterwards, so you can always catch the replay if you'd like. And then, but this is a good lip primer. Like, I know lip primers aren't really talked about, so this was definitely just like a random purchase, but yeah, she sounds very passionate about what she does. She has a good amount of experience in the makeup game. I think she worked for Estee Lauder for a long time. And so she really wanted to gear her makeup line towards more mature and aging skin, like 40 plus. But yeah, curious to know your thoughts if you have any Sarah Creole products. But yeah, so I think I went a little bit heavy here on the cream contour. Y'all gotta tell me these things. Okay, so, okay, for lips. Oh yeah, I wanted to put on the Valentino lipsticks. I got this in a gift set, and it's a good deal in a gift set. So I do think that they would make a good gift too. They're neutral shades. And then, so I'll go ahead and take like a lipstick like that and put it over, and then I'll just do like a gloss on top. And that's typically how I do my everyday lip combos. So as far as the lip gloss goes, I don't know. I'm like having trouble deciding. I picked these up in the sale recently, and then another shade in this Lawless one. I wish y'all could like tell me which one I should use. I'm hoping she does a BF sale because I want to try her concealer. Oh, a Black Friday sale. Oh, Sarah Creole. Yeah, you know, I was eyeing that concealer as well. I didn't end up picking it up, but I agree with you that I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that, Sun, if you end up trying it. Okay, so I'm just gonna clean. Oh, what I also do for my lip combo is I typically just clean up the lines on the outer edges because I'm typically like just kind of sloppy with it. But that's why when I'm not throwing around my brushes, that's why I like having these brushes handy, because when I'm in a rush doing my makeup, like on a day-to-day basis, I'm like slapping stuff on my face. And so it's nice to just have brushes that help you just like clean up, you know, when you get out of the lines and stuff like me. But hi, thank you so much for joining. I've heard great things about the Lawless, but I've never tried anything by them. Yeah. Lawless is actually kind of underrated. I dropped another one over here. Let me pick it up. Lawless Beauty lip products. I am kind of a fan, honestly. I'm a fan. I have a few of them at this point. And I like the fact that they, their products are all like, they're meant to give you like the illusion that you have like plumper lips, but without giving you that burning or tingling sensation to your lips. It just kind of like fills in the lines. So in the Lawless lip glosses, I have George. And then in the recent sale, I picked up Candy Sky and Glazed. And I think Candy Sky is probably limited edition. And then, yeah, I had already had the cherry one. This is the only shade, I believe, at least when I picked it up, that they had in this like larger size. But see, it's plumping, smoothing, and nourishing. And then I have their lipstick in the shade Platinum. And I did a reel with this as well. But yeah, it just like, I picked up the shade Platinum. It's like a really, really pale shade. And I specifically wanted the shade Platinum because I like to kind of like give that little bit of a concealer effect. You don't need a very pale lipstick shade to give you this effect, but if you want to take like a light concealer, and you might be seeing that this technique is kind of going around where people put like a little bit of like a lighter concealer in the middle of their lips. It just further like does the whole like contour thing. So if you're trying to make it look like you have bigger lips like me, that's kind of like the technique that I like to use. And then I like to put a gloss on top, but look at the shade Candy Sky. It reminds me of Wayne Goss has a lip gloss. I think it's called Hibiscus if I'm not mistaken, but it's like, I don't know if it's just like the 90s kid in me, but look at like, it's just, do you see that? It's just like that really like, I don't know, fun, glazed, kind of sparkly. Maybe I'll just put it on and show you. You see that? I did a reel recently with this one as well. It's actually not that intense as it looks on the lips when you initially put it on. So like when you spread it out, it just leaves like a nice shiny effect. But I will say, like I recently mentioned in the video I posted earlier today on YouTube, that the Tom Ford lip glosses are goated. The Dior Maximizers are great too. My only like gripe with this is that the experience of applying it isn't like as nice, just because like the doe foot is so little. You see that? I don't know, maybe that works if you have smaller lips, but like for me, I just like to cover all the real estate, I just have to keep dipping in and getting more, you know? So I have to dip into this like 3 times in order to get as much lip gloss I want. But I picked up the holographic one, even though I have multiple shades in this and I didn't need it. But this Tom Ford one is limited edition and I just got sucked in because of that. But it's like a clear gloss with some sparkles. And I honestly think that of all the lip gloss formulas out there, I can't think of a better one than Tom Ford, to be honest with you. It's just, everything about it is lovely. Like the formula is just perfect. The packaging is lovely. It's pricey, but it's Tom Ford, you know, she's bougie. Okay, and so then on the eyes, I picked up the Kofi. There's a set out in Sephora right now that comes with the liner, which is this nice little thin black eyeliner, which I like having thin eyeliners like this because they're good for tight lining, which my eye doctor told me, my optometrist told me I shouldn't even be tight lining. So I don't know. I still do it anyway. He says it like blocks the pores or whatever, you know, in our water lines. But YOLO. And I just like the little thin eyeliners to tight line. And just because this came in a duo with another cream shadow, I picked it up because I'm just always wanting a little skinny black eyeliner because I wear Lashify, which are these lash clusters that I have a YouTube video on how I apply them, but this helps to not disturb them because they're stuck on to the bottom of my lashes. Me too, YOLO. Thanks, Yasmin, for making me not feel so alone in that. Yeah. Good thing I'm not in the medical field because I'm not here to provide medical advice. Okay, so I'm just taking a little bit of ginger which I always have handy with me because it has a little bit of a yellow undertone. This is, oh no, this is custard. This is not the shade I want. This is the NARS Soft Matte Creamy Concealer. It's not new to my collection, but I just always have it out because I don't think that there's a dupe that exists on the market for this NARS Soft Matte Creamy Concealer. It's just a very unique formula, this potted concealer. I like to use it to color correct in the shade Ginger. It has an orangey undertone. So right here in my stash area where I have like, it's a little bit like darker and cooler in pigmentation, sometimes it peeks through and I don't like that if I have like a lighter coverage foundation. So I like to take the shade Ginger and cover any like hyperpigmentation or anything like that after I have put my base products on. So that's what I like to take this little spot concealer brush for. And then I haven't done the nose contour, so I usually take my Natasha Denona medium contour powder and just kind of do a little. I just feel like, I've said it on here before, it's not so much to necessarily change the shape of my nose, but when I have contrast going around like the rest of my face, you know, highlight and bronzer and contour, I just feel like if I don't do anything on my nose to give it dimension, it just looks a little weird. So I just like to put a little bit of something on it. You love that concealer? Yeah, the NARS one, it's great, isn't it? Oh, is Ihodo in here? Hi, Ihodo. Thank you so much for watching. I just used Ihodo for my highlight. This brush right here is made by Ihodo. Shout out to Ihodo. I wish I could speak Japanese, but I can't. So Yasmin is speaking Japanese for us up in here. Hayashi-san, konnichiwa. There you go. I can say arigato. I know that that's thank you. But if anybody else wants to teach me Japanese, holla at your girl. Okay, so what else are we gonna do? Oh yeah, I did highlighter already. Let's do a little bit of this Gucci highlight that I used on my cheeks. I think I'm just gonna do a little bit on my nose. I like to do a little bit of a highlighter moment on the tip of my nose here, along the bridge. And then a little bit on the brow bone. Basically on the high points, right, of the face. I'm not going too crazy. And then I love to do an inner corner highlight. And I'm using I was supposed to be using the new Sonia G brushes, but I'm not doing like a whole intricate eye look. Not supposed to, like, I wanted to showcase the new Sonia G brushes, which Sun already has showcased beautifully on her channel in a couple of videos. So check her page out if y'all aren't already following Enamored Beauty. Sunspray on here, she also has all the deals and the scoop on all of the discount codes and stuff that's going on. So love her profile if you aren't already following. But look at that, the Gucci highlighter. I love the creaminess of this formula as well. It's that like cream to powder. Of course, Sun. It's that creamy powder. Yeah, and Sun also goes live too, like a couple times a week. She's a lot better than me at scheduling them and being consistent. That's one of the things about me. I don't know, I blame my ADD, but it's hard for me to like be like, I'm going live on this day on this time, because I'm usually just like, yeah, she has all the inside scoop. Exactly, Brittany. I'm just kind of like frantically, you know, doing stuff last minute all the time. Okay, we did the lips, we did an eyeliner. Should we do, what else should we do? I wanted to showcase this on camera for y'all, but I don't know if I'm gonna have time. I'm gonna have to run. But this is a cute little gift set right now that's available on Sephora, and it was sold out for like the majority of the sale. So I actually got it after the sale. Actually, the whole sale. I think it was sold out, and that's why I couldn't get it on sale. But I just ended up using my Sephora points to get a discount on it. But I purchased this because, well, not only do I like Natasha Denona products, I picked up a couple of her eyeshadow palettes during the sale that I still have not dipped into. I picked up the golden eyeshadow palette and the I Need a Worm. I already know that I'm keeping I Need a Worm for sure. Like, look at how beautiful those colors are. I have yet to even dip into this, but she's beautiful. The golden one was the one that I wasn't too sure if I was going to be keeping. Now that I have it though, I'm just kind of like, ooh, it is really pretty. But at first I thought maybe I wouldn't get so much use out of like the super like yellowy. But really it only has like a couple of those super, super gold shades. And all the rest are pretty neutral, I would say. So did I need both? No. But you know. Okay, so yeah, and I know that Natasha Denona has her own sale going on, like on her own website, but because that I Need a Warm palette is relatively new, I didn't know for sure if that one was going to be included in the sale, which is why I just thought I would grab it at Sephora and get my points. But this cute little gift set I thought would be perfect to give away as a gift. So I purchased one for myself to try out, and then I figured if I like it, then I'll buy another one probably, or another 2 of them to give out as gifts. The lip products are getting on my retainer. Sorry, y'all. I usually like to do that and take away the product on the inner rim of my lips so that doesn't happen. But throughout the day, I just have to be conscious of that. And the Fenty Beauty, the what is it, 2 Lip Kiss in the shade 2, that transfers onto my retainer a lot too. But what does help is putting that Sarah Creole lip primer on before, because this does provide, like, the lip primer does provide like some tackiness, like some, so it'll kind of hold your lip products better. But I'm unfortunately gonna have to wrap this up now, y'all. But I just thought that this was so cute to give as like a stocking stuffer or something. It comes with its own little eyeliner, and it's just kind of like a cute little taupe shade. I'm just going to do a cute little wing with that. Nice and creamy and pigmented. Right? Could even take like a little, this is the BK Beauty 208. Oh, feels weird not seeing me in linen. Thank you so much for the compliment, Yasmin. Yeah, I know. It was like, we had a really hot summer here in Southern California, and I just lived in linen, and I miss linen, honestly. Do y'all wear linen in the winter? Tell me. Like, I don't know if, hey Sonia, thank you for joining the live. How are you? Good to see you today. I don't know if it's like, just in my head, I saw this other girl that I love, like her interior decor style and everything, and she was wearing some black linen pants, and she lives in Atlanta, and it was like a gloomy day, and she was going shopping for like Christmas decor. So I'm kind of like rethinking whether it's like a fashion no-no to wear linen in the winter now that it's like a colder, and you know, with the time change and everything. I just haven't worn linen recently, but I still love it. It's super comfy. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to kind of like slap one of these on real quick before heading out. I'm going to take the Sonia G brush here. I went to Stockholm and they had linen sweaters for sale, but it had a different type of weave, nothing like Everlane type linen. Interesting. Yeah, most of the linen stuff that you see me wear is from Everlane. That sounds interesting, Yasmin. I regret not picking it up. Dang, if you have a picture of what you're talking about, I'd love to see that. I'm in Bakersfield. I live in linen cohorts. Yeah, see, like, I love linen. It's so comfortable, and you don't have to worry about like ironing it. And for me, like with suits and stuff, you know, I don't like to wear like, you know, super heavy, thick suits in the summer, especially like when it's hot. So that's why I just like love linen. But oh, see these Natasha Denona eyeshadows are great, and this little mini is not disappointing. It seems to be the same formula she uses in her bigger palettes, so love that. This is the transition shade here. Yeah, so I'd like to hear your thoughts, y'all. Y'all are making me feel a little bit better about maybe continuing to wear my linen, even though it's getting colder. But that's the reason why I haven't been wearing it lately, just because I thought, I don't know, in my head that it's not appropriate in like the colder months for some reason. I don't know. So I've been pulling out more of like my wool and stuff and my cashmere that I typically can't wear in the hotter months, like in the summer. Y'all know I love Jenny Kane, so I've been liking my Jenny Kane stuff. Let's just pop a little bit of the sparkly shade, shall we, onto the eyelid. And then I keep saying I have to go, and I really am gonna have to go, like right after this. I hate being late for church. Like, you know, again, with the ADD, we're known to be late all the time, but I'm trying to get better at that. Okay, and then I just, real quick, the other shade, I just have to use it. I'm just gonna pop that right in the outer corner there. Emphasize the crease a little bit. And then we'll head out. Ooh, this is beautiful. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick up another one. I'm gonna use my Sephora points that I accumulated plenty of during the sale. And I'm gonna get 10 bucks off, and I'm gonna pick up another one of these so I can give them out as gifts. Let me see through. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna show you my outfit that I'm wearing for church. So I have this Jenny Kane sweater here that I showcased on my Instagram the other day when I wore it to work on Casual Friday. And today I'm styling it with jeans, a black undershirt because it has black buttons. I'm typically not even a gray person, y'all. But I've been liking this kind of like charcoal heathered gray look. And then also from Jenny Kane are these shoes that I literally live in and I freaking love. And like I said, Jenny Kane is having a site-wide 25% off sale. So you can find these products on my LTK. Link in bio. But that's it, y'all. I hope you can see like the full look here. But that's it. Just gonna spray a little bit of perfume. Let's use this Gucci Flora. I picked this one up from the sale recently too, and it smells really good. This is a blind buy. This is the Gorgeous Orchid. Hey Loza Cat, thanks for joining the live. It's so good to see you. My makeup looks flawless. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate seeing all your beautiful faces here. Thanks, Brittany. Thanks for joining the live, y'all. Gotta run. I wish I could stay here forever, but I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday evening. Love you.